Welcome back. In this session, we are going to look at ingesting data from HTTP to Azure Data Lake and ADF. First, we'll look at our requirements for this data ingestion. Then we'll look at the datasets to understand them slightly better. This will be a theory session, but let's understand the data before building the pipeline so that it'll be easier later. Okay, let's get started. So let's look at our requirement. As you know, our key requirement is to support on the COVID-19 status and also to predict the rise in cases and mortality rate. The data we are going to collect in this model includes the following. Firstly, we need the COVID-19 new cases and deaths by country. And then we need the COVID-19 hospital admissions and ICU cases. Then we need the testing numbers. So this may include things like number of tests being carried out and number of positive tests, for example. And the fourth one, and the last one, is the country response to COVID, which is things like any national lockdown measures or schools being closed, that kind of information, which we collected from every country. All of this data has been made available by European Center for Disease Prevention and Control in the URL specified here. We need to develop a solution to download the data every day and to copy them to our data lake. Just a note for you. ECDC stops updating the website, so I made the copy of these data available at my GitHub. But I will walk you through the data using this site. Let's have a look at the website to get the sense of the data, and then we'll move on to create in the pipelines. Okay, here we are in the ECDC, or European Center for Disease Prevention Control, website. The link that I gave you will take you to this page. And as you can see here, we got a number of datasets which are available for download. And amongst these, we are interested in this one here, which will give us the cases and deaths. And then this one, which will give us the hospital and ICU admission rates. And this one that gives us the testing data. And this one that gives us the country response measures. So let's pick one of those first to have a quick look. So if you click on that one, you come into this page. And as you can see, the data is available in the Excel format. Or you can also download the data in CSV, JSON, or XML. So Data Factory gives you the ability to deal with any of these formats, but because CSVs are widely used and it is easier to deal with, we are going to pick CSV for our data ingestion. The replica of data is available at my GitHub. I will walk you through how to get the link for the data. So, let's jump to GitHub repo. So we are into GitHub, and here you will visit the URL where I am in. That will take you to ECDC data folder, and here you click on the file for which you want the link. Once done, click on Raw button. Now you need to copy the highlighted URL of address bar. This URL we will use to extract the data. And the other thing you want to know is the ECDC copyright policy. So just have a read through. But from what it says, we can use the data for any purpose we want to, but we just have to acknowledge the fact that the data has come from ECDC. And if I go back to the main website, so we got other datasets. So these two are very similar. So you get Excel, CSV, JSON, and XML format file. And this one here is slightly different. So that is the country response data, and you get that only in the CSV format at the moment. But having said that, by the time you come to do the module, they might make the data available in other formats as well, because that was the case for the other three files. We've only had the Excel version of it, and in the last week, ECDC have made that data available in the other three formats as well. One more thing to note here is actually every file is accompanied by a data dictionary file. And the data dictionary basically tells you the structure of your file and any other information you need to know. So in this case, for example, you got the country code as the first column, and then you've got the response measure that is the second column. But within that, they've also defined what each one of those values mean. For example, stay-home order is stay-at-home orders for general population, but stay-home gen is stay-at-home recommendation. So there is a huge difference between the two. And you've got a number of values here. So it'll be easier to have the data dictionary alongside the data when we come to deal with the data itself so that we understand the data better. And you've got the other two columns as well. Date start, when it started, and when it ended. So there is a data dictionary for all of those ones. So I would encourage you to have a look at all of those data dictionaries and try and understand the data slightly better so when we come to transform the data or use it for any analysis purposes, it'll be easier. So that's about the 4 files we want to process for our processing, but ECDC also has other data here. So if you, for example, wanted to have the worldwide data for a number of cases, then you can download this file. And the other thing you may want to look at is how ECDC collects the data and how it processes and how often it's being made available as well. So I would encourage you to, again, go and read this information yourself. And that's everything I wanted to take you through on the website. And I'll see you in the next session, where we will be ingesting the first file for us. See you then.